Hey guys, today's lesson is going to be on how to make a 2D beaded ladybug keychain. So this is the ladybug that I'm going to show you how to make today. As you can see, this one's a little off kilter, but I'm going to show you guys how to make them and hopefully make them straight. Before you begin, you're going to need a keyring, a pair of scissors, some plastic lace or really thin shoelace, and your beads. 38 red beads and 20 black beads. So the first thing you're going to do is take your keyring and you're going to pass one end of the lace from the back of the keyring to the front right through the center. Now you're going to grab that end of the lace and pull it, and you're going to keep pulling it until it's even with the other side of the lace. And I got it pretty close, so I'm just going to leave it like that. Now you're going to create a loop in the center of the keyring, and you're going to take the left end of the lace and pass it from the back through the loop and down, and then pull it as tight as you possibly can. Next, you're going to take the right end of the lace and pull it out of the keyring, making it so that it looks like this. Now take the right end of the lace and pass it from the back of the keyring to the front, through the same loop and down. And you should end up with something that looks like this. Now I'm going to move this a little bit since it's where the keyring opens. You want to make sure the keyring opening is at the top. Alright, so I'm going to set this little guy over here as a reference. Now you're going to take your keyring, making sure that the opening of the keyring is at the top, and you're going to clip it onto your clipboard or tape it onto the table to hold it in place. Make sure that they're not crisscrossed, and make sure that the right is on the right side and the left is on the left side. Now for the first row, you're going to put 3 black beads on the left end of the lace. 1, 2, 3. Now take the right end of the lace and pass it back through those 3 beads in the opposite direction. 1, 2, 3. Pull both ends together and pull it to the center as tight as you possibly can. Now with this one, you want to pull it as tight as you possibly can with it still being straight. So you actually want to leave a little bit of space at the top. There we go. As you can see, it twisted a bit, but it's much straighter than this guy over here. Now for the second row, we're going to put 4 beads on the left end of the lace. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now take the right end of the lace and pass it through those 4 beads in the opposite direction. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Pull both ends together and pull to the center as tight as you can. There we go. As you can see, it wants to go a bit off kilter, but you can adjust that. There we go. I just want to straighten out that bead a little bit. For the third row, you're going to put 2 red beads on the left end of the lace. 1, 2, 1 black bead, and then 2 red beads. 1, 2. Now take the right end of the lace and pass it through all 5 beads in the opposite direction. Pull both ends together and pull it to the center as tight as you can. There we go. So we have 3 rows in. Now for the next row, we're going to put 1 red bead, 1 black bead, 1 red bead, 1 black bead, 1 red bead, 1 black bead. Now you're going to pass the right end of the lace through all 7 beads in the opposite direction, making sure that you don't lose any of your beads. So I got 3, 4, 5, pull it a little tighter, 6, 7. Now pull both ends together and pull it to the center as tight as you can. Now this one is going to look a little funny. As you can see, one of the beads wants to go a little off kilter, but this guy is much straighter than the last one. For the next row, we're going to put 4 red beads on the left end of the lace. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 black bead, and then 4 more red beads. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we're going to take the right end of the lace and pass it back through all of those beads in the opposite direction. So we should have 9 beads on the line. So I got it through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's pull this a little. 6, 7, 8, and 9. All right, now we're going to pull both ends of the lace and pull it as tight as you can to the center. Now this one's messed up a bit, so I'm going to pop it down and out. Now he is going to round out a little bit, which is okay. And some of the beads might want to go off kilter, but this is the closest I can get them. Now for the next row, we're going to put 1 red bead on the left end of the lace, 1 black bead, 2 red beads, 1, 2, 1 black bead, 1, 2 red beads, 1, 2, a black bead, and then 1 more red bead. Now you want to make sure that your beads don't fall off the line, so push them down a little bit. Now take the right end and pass it through all those beads in the opposite direction, making sure that your beads don't fall off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Pull both ends together and pull it to the center as tight as you can. So that straightens out the last row. For the next row, we're going to put 4 red beads on the left end of the lace. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 black bead, and then 4 more red beads. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now take the right end and pass it through those beads in the opposite direction. Now, when it comes to pony bead patterns, this particular one is fairly easy because it doesn't have any extra added limbs or anything like that. When it comes to adding limbs or arms or feet or legs in it makes it a little more complicated. But he's still super cute. Alright, so pull both ends together and pull it to the center. This is a little twisted, so I'm going to untwist it, pull it down. Alright. Now for the next row, we're going to put one red bead on the left end of the lace, one black bead, one red bead, one black bead, one red bead, one black bead, and then one more red bead. Now take the right end of the lace and pass it back through those beads in the opposite direction. So I got 3 so far. Let's pull this out a little more. Oh, there we go. And 1, 2, 3, 4. Pull both ends together and pull it to the center as tight as you can. Now with this one, you do have to make a little bit of an adjustment. There we go. And it's going to want to slide off kilter. Just try to keep it as straight as you can. And for the last row, we're going to put 2 red beads, 1, 2, 1 black bead, and then 2 more red beads, all on the left end of the lace. Now take the right end of the lace and pass it back through those beads in the opposite direction. And I got one more. Alright, grab both ends and pull it to the center. Before you pull it all the way to the center, you're going to have to go back and readjust the last row, keeping it as tight as you possibly can. And you're going to have to hold on to that and then pull this as tight as you can. And again, you're going to have to make an adjustment. There we go. As you can see, he's really off kilter here, so I'm going to fix this up a little bit. Pull him over a little in that row and pull it as tight as I can. Pull it over, and now pull this one as tight as I can. And pull the beads over. There we go. Now all we have left to do is tie him off. Now for some projects I would just tie a knot with each end of the lace on both ends, but with this particular project, because of the way he goes, I have to tie a knot in the center. So I'm going to go like this and try to get it as close to the center as possible. And I'm going to finish off the knot, pop that through there. And then tie it as tight as you can. Now, as you can see, it wants to go off kilter. It's not quite in the center, but that's okay. With the ladybug and using lace, it's really hard to get them to go just right. So I'm going to tie another knot. I don't know how I got the knot in the center on this one. I really don't. But the top of them is off kilter. This guy looks a lot neater. So I'm going to tie another knot. And then I'm going to tie one more knot just to make sure that he is secure. I'm going to pull this down so you can see what I'm doing. Tie one more knot to make sure he's secure. And now I'm going to take my scissors and cut off the rest of the line, leaving a little bit of leeway so that he doesn't fall apart. And there we have a 3D beaded ladybug keychain. I hope you guys enjoyed this lesson, and I will see you in my next one. Now for these lessons, it works out the best if you have thin lace, and I'm going to see if I can track some down. I'm going to go to Michael's today or something and see if I can track some down, because it's a lot easier to work with. Because as you can see with the plastic lace, it just kind of bends and folds all over the place. Now this guy I do have to straighten out a little bit. I'm going to push this row over, if I can. I'm going to push the bottom row over a little bit so that it lines up better. But as you can see, for the most part, his black line down the center does kind of line up. It lines up for the most part. But yeah, that is how you make a 2D beaded ladybug. Oh, and my knot is falling out, so let's pull that super duper tight. I'm going to pull it with my teeth. I wouldn't suggest doing that, but it works. There. Now it won't fall apart. And I'm going to cut this end of the lace just a little bit shorter. There we go. Bye for now.